So if you have your chair out, or if you would prefer to sit on your mat while we bring the mind and the body together, focusing back around to present moment, what's happening, being the observer, applying compassion, kindness, and gratitude, milking the good thoughts, not ruminating. So for these next few minutes, while we wait for friends to join us, sitting in quiet contemplation. And join me for some green tea here. So Fran, we will be using a chair in today's class, and that will need to be a chair that has no hands rests, no elbow rests, so no arms. So a chair or a stool, and stacks of records would even work. An old tree stump. I love an old tree stump to sit beside the fire. Please let me know if you think the music could be altered. Okay. So you probably have a clearer idea of what may distract you during your practice. Applying the dry erase board to the mind. We're going to let it think. We're going to let the shapes and words and pictures appear on the blackboard or the dry erase board. As you go through your poses, if you find that you start thinking and adding to this blackboard, then you will erase. This is a very good time before class to tune in to the areas of the body that are holding tension. They might have been in this tense state for most of the day. Perhaps, for example, your hands, shoulders, eyes, the muscles around the eyelids, cheeks. Everybody has their spot. And if you have some kind of little pain, something you're nursing or a little more intense, there'll be other parts of the body compensating with additional tension. So we would really want to allow this time to tune in, to set an intention, to check in on breathing and start to establish a connection with yourself, but also that communication and that intuition that only comes, I think, through sitting quietly, unhurried, unrushed, not really any task to complete, not really anything that you must hear or that you must take care of or witness about your body. You're open for anything, no expectation. So, coming to lie down on your mat.
So proud of me.
To begin.
I would have been gone on the street looking for chairs.
All right. And just be sure everybody has their videos muted. So on your mat, bend the knees and bring your feet together, ankles touching, knees touching, and your feet close to your hips. Doesn't need to be jammed up to the hips. And we're going to bring the hands out to the sides and the palms facing up towards the ceiling. And just to allow the body to go into a sense of rest and melting. I want to bring your attention to all the parts of the spine before we start moving, to bring your conscious awareness into these places, starting with the cervical spine, the back of your neck. You want to imagine the whole spine in connection, so if you feel that your chin is tilted up, you are going to want to elevate the head to be in alignment with the rest of the spine, with the shoulders and down. Contrary, I see some people putting their head on the block, the yoga block. I find that to be way too high. Something in alignment with the spine, down through the shoulders. Feel your ribs. How far down do your ribs go? And hugging in at the spine, at what level does it then shift into the waist and down into the lower lumbar, or the lower thoracic. So we see upper thoracic being shoulders and rib cage, and then lower thoracic. We start to lift a little, elevating. You start to feel that curve, that S curve, and lower the lumbar and the sacrum. So with that sensation, we're going to do some movements. These are some low back movements. Very nice and gentle, knees glued together, the legs going from one side and coming back to center to pause, and then dropping both knees over to the opposite side and coming back. And you're going to feel your hip on the opposite side lift up just gently, but we don't want to go all the way to the floor. This is awareness and subtlety, allowing the legs to feel heavy, especially that top leg. It's just giving its weight, allowing there to be a little more and more opening in the low back here. Nice and gentle. Starting to feel a little more opening up. You might feel that you can go closer towards the floor, but not necessarily touching the floor. Now, bringing your knees back through center, take your hands out a little wider, and as you drop the knees over, let's say the right side, you're going to turn, look to the left, and reach your left arm out to the side. And then contracting at the abdomen and the muscles in the pelvis to bring the legs back to center. And then start to allow gravity to take the knees to the opposite side, the left side, where your right arm now stretches and you're reaching, turning your gaze to look at the right as well. Contracting at the pelvis and the muscles deep within the bowl, reaching. And nice and smooth. We're going to smooth it out. Rather than stay at center, you're just going to go roll right through center and reach in diagonal directions. And now we've come all the way to the floor, maybe. For most yogis, maybe so. Inhaling center and holding now, knees to one side, holding out. Breathing in and out through the nose, out through the nose, in through the nose. And I know it may be a combination for some. So if you're more comfortable with the mouth, add the nose as it's comfortable for you. But keep working with nasal breathing. Reducing the amount of mouth breathing. So enjoy these last few breaths here. You can really stretch out like a cat. And slowly bringing it back through center and now over to the opposite side. And again, add anything that comes up from your mind, from your day on that blackboard that you can easily erase. In fact, it's just as it's being presented on the board, it's being erased. Not important right now. Last few breaths right here. Enjoy a little counterbalance stretch and then contracting from the pelvis, not so much the back doing all the work. And we're going to hug the knees in, please, right here. And then straighten the legs, both legs straight. Flex your feet and place your palms down on the mat. And we're going to stretch each leg a little longer than the other. Point the toe of the leg that you're stretching. And then release and go on to the opposite side, pointing the toe and stretching that leg. And we're going to add a point and pedal. So you're pedaling the feet one at a time to get nice and long. I'm going to slow it down even. We slow it down. Really feel the length. Let's add the arms. So, let's see. You can do reaching the sides to side. And releasing, bringing the feet back to the mat. All right. So distance from the feet, so the feet are not going to be touching. We're going to do some hip lifts. So as you lift your hips and lift the spine, it's just going to be like a plank. So not curling up the spine, it's a little different. You're just lifting the whole spine from the hips up to the lowest part of the shoulder blades, up all one piece. And then lowering down one piece. We'll do curling in a minute. Now let's go all the way up into the bridge. And then just put your ribs on the mat. Hover everything else, just the ribs from that part, that upper part of the thoracic. Resist the shoulders wanting to get nice and then let's go through the rest of the spine. Low back, lumbar, and there's the hips and the sacrum. Do a little pelvic tilt here, and let's do that again. So all one spine, no curling up, just like a plank of wood, and we're going to curl down, but let's just put the ribs first. Now the middle back, lower back, and the sacrum. Okay, let's do that one more time. Plank up and ribs, middle back, lower back lumbar, lower lumbar, I'm really taking it apart, and the sacrum. Okay. Now let's roll up, tucking the pelvis and then rolling back down. And we're going to add the arms with that. So as you tuck and curl up, you're going to take the arms up and reach up above you and exhale to roll down through the spine. And then you reach those hands back towards your ankles, like you want to touch your ankles. Pressing into the feet, just come up to the shoulders, and we're going to roll all the way down. Okay. So let's hug both knees in once again. And I love hamstring stretches. Let's hamstring stretch. We're going to do some walking meditation and some chair. So this is something I haven't done in a while, and it's always effective. So we're holding the back of the leg, stretching the hamstring. And I want you to just do a couple of taps to the back of the knee, just for the lymph. You can do the whole back of the legs. In fact, each variety of portions of the legs represents different organ systems. Head, neck, and shoulders up. So also by draining in the opposite direction of gravity, the lymph. Always drain your lymph towards the abdomen and then into the chest. So just holding here. And then I want you to kind of let's straighten that left leg. You can do the bounce with the left leg. So there's like a little bouncy bounce that we're going to do. Let's go ahead and we'll point the toes because that'll help everything to get nice and long. And let's relieve the body of that for a moment. Let the arms rest. And we'll move to the opposite side. So left leg lengthens. We're just going to a little tap back of the knee. If you come to Qigong on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock, we do a lot of tapping on the body, waking up the meridian lines. Option to take your head, neck, and shoulders up. Be sure to hold your neck. You can also hold the back of the mat, which is fun. And a straightening out of the right leg, and we can do little bounces. Nice, soft bounces, controlled bounces. Bouncing has a negative reputation in fitness industry, obviously, because people go too far with the bounce. They go farther than they need to. So this is a gentle, loving boing, boing, okay? All right, and we'll begin to roll over onto your side, please, and pressing yourself up into seated pose and then up into standing pose. So I like to go from squat, just testing yourself for coming up into standing. Okay, so I'm going to make a switch with the camera here. All right. So having your mat, and it may be your mat is all that you need for this part. This is a standing or walking meditation, rather. And it focuses your mind singularly on the pressing and shifting of your weight of your feet, synchronizing that with your breath and the effects that that has on you psychologically, mentally, emotionally. So I want first just to stay in your feet, standing here. And on your inhale, shifting your weight just slightly over to one foot. And then as you exhale, shift it over to the other foot. That's it. Inhale, you're shifting. Exhale, shifting the weight. And let it be a really true synchronizing this clock of your body. This is my body. This is what it sinks to. It's like a little boat, right? It's going to flow. Let yourself be in a state like water as you float from foot to foot. So now we're going to allow that to be a lift, forward momentum, and now place. Lift, forward momentum of the leg, place. Inhale. Exhale, place. So the shifting of the weight is on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. It doesn't really matter when you inhale or exhale. It's just do it with a certain amount of rhythm and awareness to the movement synchronizing. So everything slows so down. People wonder, was everything okay? Been on retreats where there's about 40 people and they're all moving at this tempo. And see, I lost balance, and that is another thing that comes up when you're moving so slowly. You got to stabilize. It slows down. Can't talk. And the game changes. Now you start to speed up. Chances are you started to think. It's kind of hard to think about something else while you synchronize your breath to your walking. Let's make your way to one end of your mat. And let's make it a step for every breath. Every 2 breaths. 2 steps for every breath. So it's exhale. Inhale, step. Exhale, step. Inhale. Exhale. And just walking in a circle. Let's add another step to the breath, 2 breaths to the step. So it'll be 2 and then 1. So it's inhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. So 2 steps to inhale, 2 steps to exhale. In and out. Now let's do 3 steps. 2, 3. Breathe in. 2, 3. Breathe out. 2, 3. Now we could do back to the 1. So it's inhale and exhale. Inhale, step. Exhale. Let's do it just the back to inhale. Shift your weight as you exhale. Bring your foot forward. Inhale. Exhale, shift your weight. Inhale, place the foot down. Exhale, shift your weight. So let's move to the chair now. I love the walking meditation, and I will say that you can add a walking meditation everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, deciding that it has a tempo of breath that fits what it is your intention is. My intention is to get there quickly. My intention is to be collected. My intention is to be clear-minded. My intention is to keep my sense of humor. And these things can go into your movements. And so it becomes like a mantra. So walking meditation, shopping meditation, you can do driving meditation. Everything in yoga, it's a lifestyle, is meditation in a way. So this is going to be a fun one. This one is going to require that you smile, and it doesn't need to be a genuine smile. We're going to allow it to creep its own effect over the body very slowly. So it's a cat-cow movement. So coming to about the middle or the edge of your seat, please. And opening the chest with the arms and the elbows drawing back. And then exhale, rounding over your spine, the typical cat-cow. Okay, so we're going to allow the arms to pull apart and then come together as you expand. Now here's where the smiling comes in. As you crawl in, you get a little break. You don't have to smile, but as you open, think of synchronized swimming. Or the gymnasts. They come up, opening, and then you can release. So open, smiling, and closing. And closing. Two more right here. Open the chest. And let's open and hold right here. You're going to take your hands down to the back of your mat, to your chair. And maybe you can hold the back or the bottom of the chair, grasp onto it the best way that you can. You can feel the chest bursting forward. And go ahead and give a little arch forward, just exaggerating that cow. And now, opening up the knees, we're going to exaggerate cow, more like a camel, and now all the way forward. And let's hold in a forward fold. Notice how your breath is compromised and in what way. How the pressure in your face has changed. Even just neutralizing any opinion of any of the poses. Just coming to an equality or egalitarian, or not egalitarian, equinarian? Is that a word? With equanimity, that's what I'm trying to say. Let's come on up. And we're just going to sit. Before I take you into the next few movements, I want you to come to, again, that middle of your chair. I just don't want your back, I want to show this very important, I don't want your back touching the chair. And just humor me in your next week. When you sit in a chair, have space between you and the back at all times. Sit with integrity. practice the integrity of sitting without even needing this here or looking forward to plopping in a chair. It is a drawing up the energy, also feeling that your feet are grounded, the shoulders are grounded, and that there's a lengthen up. So we're going to move through flexion, extension, and rotation of the spine. And before any of those can come together, the extension of what we're doing right now has to be the neutral point, the center point. We will come back to this. So crown of the head reaching up, tail dropping down. This is extension. And you're exaggerating with your awareness of drawing up and drawing down. Then maybe there's a tilt in the pelvis required. You can feel the connection. All right, so we've got 6 movements. There's actually 8, but here's 1 and 2. 1 up to the sky, 2 down to the ceiling. Okay, so 3 and 4 we just did. 3 would be forward fold. And you can bring your arms up for forward fold, a little bit of flare. Bring those hands down at the base of the chair. Here's 4, extension. Now, some yogis, you'll be okay with going into a big back bend with the chair, groovy. Otherwise, just back bend like this, that's good. So there's 3 and 4. We come back to 1 and 2, right, extension. Here we go, lateral flexion. Now, at this point, a block would make a great friend. You don't have to go all the way to the floor. Not everybody's chair is going to be that friendly. So back to center, switch the block, and taking extension, lateral extension on the other side. Now, rotation. Inhale, back center, and exhale, rotating to the other side. And so it continues, all 8 directions. Here we go. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, back center. Exhale, flexion back. Your choice how. Extension. Lateral flexion, one direction. Inhale, center. Lateral flexion, the other direction. Always on movement, you're going to breathe out. As you come back to that extension, you breathe in. Exhale, rotation. Shoulders down. Inhale, extension. Exhale, rotation. So let's do that again. Inhale. Forward, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, flexion back. Inhale. And exhale, side. Let's go to the one with the block. Inhale. Exhale. Rotation. Okay. How's it going? Okay. All right. So, sitting all the way back. To the back of your chair, but still not touching the back of the chair. You're still at attention. Shoulders back, drawing up and in, pelvic floor, perineum. Finding neutral pelvis right here. Now, this is going to seem a little odd, but I want you to feel that your hip bones are lifting up one at a time. So I'm going to lift one hip bone and slide it forward. I'm going to the other side now. Little bitty pedals. And we're going to pedal like this. So let's use our hands also to mimic that movement. You're kind of scooching, but I want you to feel that your hip is actually picking up, lifting up, and walking forward or gliding forward with a little more intention. And I want you to feel the muscles that are connected to the inner bones of the hips connecting inward and lifting up. Now you're going to make it all the way to the edge here. Okay, right just before you're going to fall off the edge, we go back. Okay, keep it small. Keep it small. Because the more subtle, with more attention, taking your awareness inward, the more control and the more balance that each side has. Let's do that again. So now you're probably a pro at it. You probably don't need your hands. But again, it's lifting and creeping forward on that chair. It's all inward work there. And let's go back. All right. Groovy. Okay, so let's go into a square legs. Sometimes has other names, but I'm calling it half fire log. Knee is going to go on top of the ankle, flexing the foot, finding yourself in a grounded state, and we're folding forward over that leg. Now just for these last minute, just a little interesting side-to-side eyes. I want you to release in your body, and I want you to guide your eyes left to right, side to side, nice and slow, like the cat clock eyes, you know. This is a little right brain, left brain. You can even do it with your eyes closed. You don't need to have. But it has an effect on the body, and you may find that your body releases naturally this last 30 seconds. With control coming back. All right, let's have a go at the opposite side here. Okay. Grounding in, settling in, forward folding, and if you haven't done a lot with hips, I'm starting to feel that myself. Allow the body some time, some extra time, and then you can play with that EMDR, eyes. Let's see, it's eye movement. Anybody who's ever been to counseling, sometimes counselors do this eye movement to help break up any emotional tension of the body, but I believe this is also good for pain tension or moving through in yoga, and I'm interested to know anybody else's experience. But yeah, looking side to side, nice and slow, like hypnotic cat eyes, as you slide deeper and deeper into the surrender of the pose. Last 30 seconds here. And slowly coming up out of the box leg. And let's sit a little to the edge. I'll let the knees drop from side to side. You can, depending on the comfort of your chair. All right, so, okay. Let's see what time we've got. Perfect. I want to sit on the chair, but I want you to sit on your foot. Now, a lot of people already do this, but we're going to go for both. So, you're going to sit with the heel of your foot plugged into the perineum, okay? That space between the anus and the sex organ. So, right there, pushing your heel into it. It's definitely a thing in yoga, interestingly enough. It has a pressure point. And so you're going to want to have a yoga block for this part, okay? All right, so we're going to be taking, let's see, it's over on this side. Okay. We're going to be taking the block in the left hand. We're sitting on the right leg. So we're going over to the opposite side. And we're just going to do a little bit of spiraling up. So spiral to look down at your hand at the block. Spiral, rotating at the waist to look up. One more time. And then let's bring it all the way over to the other side. Now I think at this point we're going to switch legs. Yes, I'm remembering this one. So switching legs, now the perineum has got the other foot right snug. Okay, block, right hand, down on the floor, getting balance, hand is under the shoulder. So, of course, a higher chair, maybe a second chair next to you, in case a block is just a little too much. And I can definitely say that in other circumstances, you could forego the block and use just a second chair. So we're rotating from the waist and side bending in the spine. Rotating, reach, and last one to rotate and look up. Ready to sit on both feet? Okay. So you're just going to tuck both feet under you. Let's see now. My chair may not be long enough. I'm going to try. Okay. Thunderbolt in the chair. All right. Feeling like a kid yet, huh? You could also turn the chair sideways and use your chair the side direction if your legs are long. Okay? Again, we're not going to be on the back. We are drawing up and thinking that length at all times, up to the sky and down. So let's circle the wrists. Continue lengthening, relaxing. Can reverse the wrists. And reverse one more time. Let's take the chin into the chest. So, a lot of times the chair is either solid or you may have a nice good grip, but generally it's thick enough that the hands can fit around. So, just want you to play with Walking the hands high up. And then one of two things. Some will feel a little more comfortable, some will not. Hugging the elbows in and letting the elbows point up as you fold forward. Some of you will feel more comfortable and be okay with holding the chair and going into chair child pose. So you're either elbows pointing up, child's pose, or child's pose holding chair. And beginning to come out of the child's pose, and we'll release the legs. Then just sitting on your chair, sitting with at attention. I'm calling it at attention. So sitting at attention. Add a block under your feet that are not touching. If you have a big chair and challenged to touch the floor. And I just want to sit here for a few minutes. This could be equivalent to the yogi staff pose, where you're sitting with your legs straight out. But just sitting with a nice long spine and a long neck. And bring your feet together, bring your knees touching, and bring your ankles touching, and squeeze your thighs together too. Gentle enough that you're not having to overwork, but it's enacted. You're engaged. You're aware. You can even do the little crossing of your ankles. You know, I think about the etiquette classes I've watched. Women in etiquette classes had to sit like this. But I almost think that's key to I know it's a key to really good spine health. So I hope those women had that. A few more moments here. Sitting. Just sitting. Observant of your breath. And this is your life in the present moment. This is happening now. All is well in the present moment. Still just sitting. Last 30 seconds here. Knees, ankles, all touching and at attention. I'm going to bring that smile that we made happen with our expansion and extension, or flexion and extension there at the beginning of class. Just hold that smile. I had a little timer on me. Okay, so there's 1 minute. It just turned 5, so just smile 1 minute right here. 45 seconds left. Keep smiling. We're at 30 seconds. Add attention. Smiling at our organs, smiling. Last 15 seconds here. Smiling at the day that's over and all of that we've learned. And you can go back to frowning. All right. So, this is the portion where you can come into Shavasana comfortably on your back. And may I recommend Shavasana on your back with your legs up the chair. You can also sit in the chair for your final Shavasana if that sounds more appealing for you. Or legs up the wall. You know the drill.
prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarinyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarinyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Bringing your awareness to your body. Hugging your knees in and calculating what your evening and how your evening and your yoga practice can become like parts of the same puzzle. The hues and the colors of your life are dropped with a yoga flair. There's an appreciation, there's an intention behind the way that you do the work that you do, or the rest that you rest and the ways that you rest with others. So we'll bring the hands at the heart center. If you would like to take your video down and your microphone off, we'll do an Om, remembering that the Om is the vibration that was given to us as a way of healing the body. The vibrations that come from the voice have a great mystery of healing and soothing. So send that vibration through you and then out to the world. So we'll let our breath rise inside. It is a great pleasure to practice with all of you. Thank you for joining me tonight and online, and have a lovely rest of your day or evening.